What the fuck is up, everybody? Welcome back to DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. Sorry there's been like this weird lapse in episodes not happening. That's gonna stop now because I had to work the fabrication yard show last weekend. I had zero time to do an episode, but now we're back and I'm with the boys and Run The Asylum. Gentlemen, how are we?
Cheers, man.
Cheers, 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 cheers. Alright, gentlemen, introduce yourselves and what you do in the band, please.
My name is Royson. I play the slap of the bass.
Michael J. Fox, I play guitar.
Andrew Garcia, play guitar.
Nick Benson, I do vocals. And Josh Schleider, play drums.
You and I played a show together. Way back in your other band called Never Cease. That was the Diamond Gym days. That was our second show ever. We were bad. We were really bad.
Yeah, what was that?
That was
in June. That was in June because we played back to back.
It was like
So RTA played with Silver Tongue Friday night in Oklahoma, and then the next day, Saturday, Never Cease played again with Silver Tongue, and you guys.
Yeah, man. Okay, no, then that was our fourth show because that was that was right after we played with Deicide. Because we opened up for Deicide for our third show ever.
They're coming up.
Yeah. No, dude, I just suck a lot of dick. That's all I do. All right, everyone. Let's
play the team, man.
So let's talk about the technique.
Snap one corkscrew. All right. Okay. This is where you buy the Pornhub pass, Stan. This is the rest of the episode. Let's get into the history of Run The Asylum, like the 101, the day one. How did it all begin?
What's the day one?
Day one?
That was you guys.
So day one, I've been writing material for forever.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Since I was even through college is when I kind of got into heavy metal, or high school, college, and then wrote my own stuff. Andrew was writing his stuff concurrently, and then he hit me up online, really. And
Craigslist?
Yep. No. Craigslist personals. Yeah.
Band mix or something?
Yep. What was it?
Yeah.
I think it was a band mix.
Well, because I got stationed in Denton in May of 2015 from Kentucky, Tennessee area, Fort Campbell, and then I got here in May, and then up until then I never had time because I was always coming and going, training and deploying, and so I knew I was going to be in Denton for 3 years. I wasn't going to go anywhere. And so that was kind of, I had put up a band mix I had before when I was back in Kentucky, but again, all of the coming and going, I was made it hard for anything. And so once I got here, I was like, hey, I know I'm not going anywhere. I know this is something I want to do, pursue, so I threw up an ad. But at the time, my playing it was like real simple stuff, like real simple power chords and just kind of some speed picking. And so the thought was, I'm going to throw up the ad, I'll wait till somebody hits me up. And then I'll go from there. But the issue was nobody was hitting me up, so it was kind of this thing where it was like either I'm gonna put myself out there and take a chance or not. And so I just said screw it. I started just emailing a bunch of people, and everybody I emailed, Mike was like the only one that answered. And so he hit me up. We got together at my place, and man, I'll never forget that day because I'm sure Mike remembers. Mike dude, it was Mike and I in my one room, in my little jam room. And it was like nothing but like my amp and like a couple stools like this, and then just him and I, dude. And that was like the first time I'd ever played with anybody, like outside of like, yeah, for real. I mean, 'cause I was always training, and deploying and stuff, and so, and dude, I was sweating like profusely, man, 'cause I'm like, here I am like jamming with some strange dude I've never met before up until this one day, and so I'm just like sweating my balls off, but thank God Mike was like, yeah, dude, let's keep jamming. And that was back in September, like the first week of September.
September, like 2015.
Yeah,
actually, to be honest.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was.
And then eventually you got more people, got these dudes.
Yeah, so that was September, and then October, Adam came in the band. He was the original bassist.
Sounds gay.
And then he was the original bassist, and then in November, I think Josh came.
Well, I think soon after. So Josh is my cousin.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we've been jamming together since we were like 18, or maybe even
16.
16,
Yeah.
so a long time.
Oh yeah.
Over a decade for sure.
A couple of our songs we actually wrote a long time ago. We just kind of tweaked it here and there.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's always good to have like a backlog. It
Yeah.
seems like a lot of bands start from this backlog. It's like you meet with new people, like, oh dude, let me show you this, and like, you know, you show it to them. Like, you know, that's definitely a thing for us. Like when I worked on a couple of riffs that he already written. And Nick did too. When Scorcher first became a thing. So it's always nice to see like a backlog, like the shit you have written actually now comes to fruition with like a full-fledged lineup, and you finally get to see your work blossom under everyone else who is totally fucking down for it. It's a good feeling.
And it sounds way better when it's like a full band, because it was just guitar and drums.
So we brought Josh on pretty early. We had a bassist, original bassist. His name's Adam. And it took us a while. To find a good singer, I would say. We went through our round of singers, and
That was horrible.
because not everybody, we didn't think everybody fit our type of music, and we were looking for a certain type of scream, a certain type of ability in a way. And so finally settled on Nick, and that was great because we become very more cohesive groups since Nick joined, and then
But that's a good while.
last bassist left, and we brought on Bryson.
Better
for
beard
new
anyway,
bass.
probably.
Oh, yeah. His only stipulation was that we have to buy him beard oil every month. So.
Doesn't Philip DeFranco do like a beard oil now? I don't know. I saw that shit the other day.
Probably.
I've never used it. I've always been terrified of shit like that.
I mean, you
That
gotta
makes it
keep
shiny.
it moist.
Yeah,
You know. Can have a
Middle
dry
two
beard.
Yeah, so that's kind of the story. That's how we all formed.
Shit. Well, I believe I've seen you guys twice. I definitely remember seeing you one time at Reno's. I probably saw you somewhere else and I can't remember, but I do remember the show at Reno's because you had this box. This box every time you fucking sat on it, it just lit up. And I was really high.
Yeah.
I was standing at the front, I was seeing this thing light the fuck up, and like behind me is like at least like 18 people, and like 16 of them have your shirt, and like the other 2 are like clinging onto the arms of dudes who have the shirt on. And I'm like, yo, this band like brings pussy, I love it. I was like really high, and I'm like, dude, hell yeah.
It's all relatives.
Yeah,
Wait, that sounds weird, man.
this is some Lannister shit going on. And some Targaryen shit too.
There you go.
But no, I just heard the same thing light up. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? That's cool. I've always seen like, you know, everyone has like their like little thing that they have on stage. Like the Killer's vision is like Charles just throwing mannequin pieces all over the place. Beer Break is just Delton drinking himself almost into a fucking coma. Crop Dust is just a fucking huge dude in a pig mask. I used to run
He's
around.
so tall.
Yeah, I used to run around with the fucking bow and arrow, like a bow on stage. You remember? I ran around with like a bow on stage, dude.
Ambush.
Yeah, we still play that. We actually tweaked it. It sounds a little bit better now. I don't kill myself anymore on vocals. As I said, we were not good back then, not at all. But I don't give a fuck about my band right now. Anyway, one thing I remember was you guys you guys bring a lot of hype. I remember you specifically were saying, all right, at this part, I want you to say these words every time I like raise my fist or something. I think that's what you said. And man, it was like 12 words. A normal crowd would have been like, you shorten that to 3, please. But man, everyone was saying in 12 words like a motherfucker. And I'm like, yo, you gotta be a really good hype band to really get people to commit to 2 full sentences with like 4 shiners under their ass. Fucking mad props to that. Mad props.
Thanks, man.
So, one thing I do want to find out with you guys is, from all of you individually, what were your influences in picking up the instrument that you play or doing the vocals that you do and the sound that you bring as a band? What bands, what musicians kind of really stuck with you? We can start here and go down this
Sure.
way.
Well, I grew up with a pretty broad musical taste. So the first metal bands that I ever got into, probably the first like metal song was Drapery Falls by Opeth. And funny enough, that was on a PB Nation. It's a paintball forum.
That's one. That's a one hell of a way to get started.
Well, I mean,
PB Nation.
there was a one of their sub forums because it was massive. I don't think anyone plays paintball anymore, but
Nobody.
it was pretty like big forum. So got into like music stuff. So Drapery Falls by Opeth was like really got me into metal. One of my first big metal bands. Funny enough, so I was at Bible camp. Seriously, I was in 8th grade and just going into high school. Remember, there's these cool like scene kids, and they were super cool. And one of them was listening to Miasma by Black Dahlia Murder, which is like one of my favorite albums of all time now. I was like, dude, what are you guys listening to, man? Like, oh, dude, it's a Black Dahlia Murder. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So no, I got into that. Just kind of went down that rabbit hole a little bit, amongst like other things. So for me, bass playing kind of started with that. Listening to a little bit of Protest the Hero, and it was like, oh man, this bass player is like crazy. He does all these fills, but it's not like super hardcore. You can still, there's like a prominent bass part with that band.
Yeah.
So, kind of stuff like that, and then running into like Blood Runs Black, seeing them live and going to shows all the time is like, man, this bass playing thing's cool.
Yeah.
So,
It's always good to see a band like Protest Hero because it's as you said, I always feel like bass presence is very fucking important.
sure.
And Dallas is pretty good about it. Like in general, bands in DFW are really good about having a bass presence instead of the bass just following the guitar all the time. Because I know that is a really big issue abroad. It's just like the bass player literally just plays what the guitar plays.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, it's refreshing being in a scene where the bass has their own parts or they fucking start the fucking lead and everything. Like, I make sure that Reed has his work cut out for him when he plays bass. Like, okay, because I think Reed starts off like 2 or 3 of our songs. So, like, I definitely can appreciate a good band that has a bass that is different from your run-of-the-mill.
Sure. Well, seeing bands like Necrophagist or like Origin, man, they've got like these crazy bass players,
Origin,
and it's just like holy fuck.
I
And
think
then
that's the first time I've seen Sweeping on the bass.
Oh,
Origin.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, and they're just like.
Yeah.
I've still never seen that. I gotta check that out.
No, yeah.
Fetus
Oh,
is there
dude.
too.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, even Dying Fetus, like, I've seen them probably like 5 times, and it's just like, man, these are like 40, 50-year-old dudes that are fucking killing it.
Dying fetus are the 2 words you have to say in front of a pit bull to automatically make them go, yes. Yes. There is not one pit bull in the organization that's like, dying fetus.
Yeah.
No, everyone is like, oh shit, and like everyone just punches each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think when they went, last time I don't remember exactly, maybe not the last time they played at Gas Monkey Live, but the time they were there with Die Artist Murder, I remember we were all just sitting outside of Die Artist Murder, because that was really super big into Die Artist Murder, and I never really listened to it prior to that. But like, it's like, there's like 40 of us just sitting out there like drinking beers and shit, just talking about how we're ready for Dying Fetus. And then Dying Fetus comes like, starts soundtracking while everyone's outside after Die Artist done. And the moment they start soundtracking, we all just fucking like a beeline to the oh shit! Here he goes! Dude, that was an intense bit that night. I was tired because Gas Monkey's live is so fun. The floor is so wide, and depending on the show, and depending on how many regulars go to that show, they make you mad fucking room for a pit. So you're essentially jogging. Because some people will just full blown out run, and if you kind of do your usual thing, you're probably going to get barreled over by the fucking guy who probably did 3 pumps of coke before he came to the show. So I fucking love Gas Monkey. I also don't like really, really, really large moshing spaces. I mean, I say that, but I remember, have you ever been to a show at the Ridgely Theater before?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
In Flame and Tribune there.
Oh, nice.
I remember the last time I was there was, the last time there was a large pit. Because the last time I was there was for War Beast when they kind of did their like last show ever. After Bruce kind of found out that the fight was done for him and he's probably gonna have to accept his fate. They did like one more show, but before that, Dead Rising did like their like farewell show. Like it was like their last show ever, and the Environment played like right after them.
Nice.
Yeah, but that was at 3 in the morning, dude. Like, everyone was so fucking tired at that point. But yeah, because like, Dead Rising played like every single song they've ever written. So it was like an hour and 45-minute set. Yeah, and that pit was a monster. And that was a wide pit too, because you know it's not really like as like girthy as Gas Money Live. That's a really bad way to say that. Girthy. But it was definitely as long, and that doesn't fucking help it. Is this episode just gonna be a bunch of sexual innuendos? Because if so, I'm down for it. But I don't know. But a place like Reno's, for me, is a place that is like a really good example of like a really good mosh space. Not too wide, not too long, but
Just the right.
Yeah. Whitson, I love Whitson, but I always eat the fucking railing on the side. I always do. Yeah, and someone always gets pushed to a fucking table. It always happens. Looking at you, Jeff. Officer Solman. He's a pit bull in our organization. We make fun of him for being a cop, even though he's not really a cop. We just call him a cop. You need to get a warrant before you can come over here and talk shit. But I don't know how we got down the rabbit hole of mosh spacing. But I went off on a tangent about bass playing and dying feet. Dying Face is Dying Face is definitely a mosh pit talk. All right, Michael, how about you? Your influences?
Sure. So I started playing guitar when I was 15 or 16. It's mostly acoustic. My dad's a big guitar and banjo player, so I naturally kind of like followed him into that. He plays a little bit more of the bluegrass stuff, so I was always aware of like the insane technical stuff that goes on even in other genres.
Yeah.
And then so started practicing originally just like songs for church, learning all that stuff, and then I would say I kind of started out learning guitar with punk, and punk helped like the Green Days, even pop punk if you want to call it.
Yeah.
Green Days, been going to it just helped me like learn the different like chord progressions and figure out where it is on the day.
Definitely a good start.
Yeah. And then my first introduction to heavy metal was actually All That Remains, The Starving Heart. And some guy, it was like when I was like 18, so like later on in my guitar playing, or a couple years later, and somebody showed me The Starving Heart, and I was just like so transfixed with everything that was going on in the rhythm section and then the leads, and I was just hooked on it. And so from there, just delved into more and more technical stuff. So my preference is a little bit more on the melodic side, because I feel like that it brings a lot more to the table, or a lot more people appreciate that. So
yeah.
So those are my influences. So I'm a little bit. So I guess some of my influences are kind of a little bit more on the metalcore side. Like I would say As Lay Dying is a big one.
Metalcore.
OG metalcore.
Yes.
As Lay Dying, Killswitch Engage, which we just saw last night. Some of those bands that it's not just all heavy like chugging, but they're able to incorporate a melody into the song.
Yeah, I feel you.
And bring a little bit more emotion into it. So that's kind of how
I don't know. Is Parkway Drive considered that?
They're close.
Okay.
I would say.
For old stuff, definitely.
Okay, yeah, because but I'm also seeing a lot of that too, where like a lot of these musicians that are coming out nowadays, their introduction into metal is actually not what you would expect. Like I start with Metallica or like Judas Priest or Iron Maiden. Like it's actually kind of crazy. Like I actually think it's a great thing. I think it's a great thing that like a lot of people's like first experiences are becoming these newer bands that are coming out, because it really sets a precedent, and it's kind of a way how if you actually look at the history of heavy metal in general, that's how music has progressed into different types of sounds. Is that obviously, if you go back to like the 80s, like Metallica days, obviously they heard all the rock shit, but like the things that like really fucking grasped them was like the new wave of British heavy metal. And then for the new wave of British heavy metal guys, it was the stuff that was coming out in like the early 70s. It was like their first band was like fucking, like maybe like the first album from Cream or some shit. And, you know,
And I will say I was aware of like Metallica and
Yeah.
Iron Maiden,
Well,
and those were big influences as well. But
yeah.
there was something about the heaviness of like, I think it was like the new American wave of metal. I don't know if I'm terming that correct, but
Might as well
it was
just
like
call it that.
yeah. So that whole wave like just influenced me so
That's
much.
honestly a really good way to call it because there's a fucking rabbit hole past that. It's because, you know, you have the new wave of American metal, and then that just goes to the new wave of fucking thrash, which is
Yep.
Havoc,
Yep.
Municipal Waste, and, you know, bands like Power Trip, even though they're more crossover. Then you have, like, you know, new wave of black metal, which has kind of hit everyone with, like, Sabbat and everyone like that, Marduk, and, you know, so, I mean, God, you're just hitting, like, a bunch of different fucking spectrums. The thing about metal is that it's just so convoluted half the time, and that's why everyone's like, I'm so fucking sick of labels, but man, you're gonna be playing within a label anyway. Like, I get why people are kind of frustrated with labels, but you're never not gonna play something that fits into a label. No one's coming out with something that has nothing to do with any of the genres out, so you just might as well just self-identify. You don't have to fucking browbeat people with what you are, but if you're trying to fucking, you know, talk to label people, you're trying to tour around, you have to tell them that you're something.
Yeah.
You can't say, oh yeah, you know, we're like our own brand thing, and everyone's just gonna like look at you like as if you just fucking snorted like just an ecstasy to fucking porta potty before you came to your fucking job interview with no shorts on. You know, like I'm just saying, people, you're not unique. Anyway.
Me? Let's see. Well, originally I started out in the drums actually, in middle school. So I
I did not know this.
yeah, started out
Are
in
you a
drums.
percussion?
Yes, I started percussion, and then I always tell people I blame my mom. I guess kind of similar to Mike. My mom was always playing the piano growing up, and so I was telling her it's her fault that I love music so much. But started on the drums, played kind of through high school, and then ran away when I was 17. I was living with this dude.
Whoa! Hell yeah!
Yeah, dude. I was very peripatetic when I grew up. I was living with this dude. He played guitar, and he was always playing. And I don't drink beer. I don't drink alcohol. Anyway, long story short, ended up homeless. Went back home, and then for my 18th birthday, I convinced my parents to buy me a cheap little like $100 startup set for.
First act?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Is it
Which
a
actually
Rogers?
I still have that guitar at home, by the way.
Oh, nice.
But and then yeah, I just never stopped playing. But I guess kind of similar. Well, maybe. You know, you start out with the simple stuff. You know, the Green Days, the Blinks. Kind of. For me, that just kind of helped me like, getting my hands moving, my fingers moving, learning the chords, stuff like that. But I was always intrigued, I guess, by the more technical side of playing. You know, going to concerts and seeing people that were playing like everywhere. And then as a musician, it's cool to play like little punky stuff like, you know, Green Day or whatever, but like it's boring. Like as the musician playing it, it just kind of gets boring. You're just playing like the same 3 or 4 power chords over and over again.
Skater punk's where it's at anyway.
Skater punk.
Yeah, man, like locally.
Mighty Mighty Boston's?
Yeah,
Ska, not ska. But
yeah, I mean, yeah.
because it's old Tony Hawk.
Ska's a good gateway. Locally, probably a really good example would probably be Blot Out or Casual Relapse. Probably 2 really good examples like hardcore punk style that just browbeats fucking shit to death.
Yeah. But no, eventually, I guess the main influences for me would probably be like Jonathan Donay from Shadows Fall and Ollie from All Their Veins.
Ollie Sykes?
Yep. When I realized that those dudes themselves, well, Ollie was a guitar teacher, and
R.I.P.
that Jonathan, still as good as he was still taking lessons. That really made me like, holy crap, like, you know, those dudes are still taking lessons, or those dudes were teaching and pushing them. But anyway, so actually I did do lessons back in Kentucky for about a year or so on some theory stuff, and then playing with Mike. That really helped me progress in my playing. But bands like Unearth, Shadows Fall, As Lay Dying, stuff like that. fast, heavy, but like melodic still.
Man, As I Die made that resurgence, man. I didn't think it was gonna
crazy.
happen.
They have sold out shows now, even with all that controversy.
That's insane. Well,
And
man,
they're coming with Unearthed from the Vault.
it's as I always say, whether you like it or not, people love art in general. So what you're gonna see is a lot of people disconnecting the people from the art. What now? That's obviously a very controversial thing to do. I do it myself because I love Chuck Berry, but we all know he fucking married his minor cousin. Okay, we know it fucking happened. Still like the fucking music,
Yeah.
But I subconsciously push that out of my mind. I think we kind of all have a little bit of a bias when it comes to that. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I can't tell you. I'm not here to fucking judge that.
Well, just because she only played in minor scales instead of major scales doesn't mean. I had to insert a corny joke, so.
All right, Mr. I think it's your turn.
Nick?
Oh man. I guess I started actually playing guitar in high school and played high school garage band, mainly playing guitar and did some backup vocals. Not a lot, did it very badly, but never was a vocalist really until I joined this band, but really just been playing guitar since then, and then just recently started doing vocals, to be honest. Maybe a year or two before I joined these guys.
First time I ever did vocals in front of anyone was Squatcher's debut show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Wow.
That's the way to do it.
It's so bad. But you can actually find the full set on YouTube. It's horrible. Well, actually, no. A lot of people like it. I fucking beat the shit out of myself for it. I think it sucks. I think our demo sucks too. It didn't fucking makes anything any better. Well, mainly because of me. So.
Was the first RTA show your first screaming vocals in front of people?
Other than you guys, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because we didn't play any shows in high school, and I just did like backup stuff. Just
shit.
screaming here and there, and it wasn't really my main thing until just a little bit before I joined these guys.
Yeah.
Just kind of working on it till then, and I guess really hadn't really found my niche until right before I joined the band. And so since then, I still play guitar and still obviously do vocals, but trying to just improve range and improve endurance and all that kind of stuff.
Man, I'm still doing that even after a couple even after 2.5, 3 years later with Skull Archer. Like, I always feel like, but I feel like as time goes on with the project, you're gonna you figure things out. Like, you don't have to exert yourself on this particular part, because I know I definitely kind of re-examined everything that I've done. And it's kind of helped me kind of find my range a little bit better.
Yep.
Honestly, you can do the fucking art of screaming shit, and I've tried it, and I didn't really like it, because if you ever watch it, it's about that woman who's like really fucking phenomenally well known for like having the perfect style of doing it without fucking your throat up. Yeah. But the thing is that entire that it's like what, 2 or 3 or 4 discs. Out of all those discs, like 60% of it is everyone sucking that chick's dick. Everyone is sucking that chick's dick.
Really?
They're saying how great she is, how amazing she is, how they transform their lives. And like barely any of it is like the source material. I really feel like they need to come out with another version and just call it "We Don't Suck Dick on This One." And it shows her techniques, because they work, but just leave it with her techniques. So I kind of I do the breathing exercise, like that long one that as you like the double breath. I do that all the time, and it helps, does wonders. But I definitely kind of more of it has just come from just doing more shows and just performing more and finding out where you stand and where you don't stand and what you can do and what you can't do. Just finding out your limits.
Yep. Because shows have been the real testament as to, I guess, where you are.
Yeah, really. And if you wake up the next morning and your throat's hurting or you're kind of raspy, you did it wrong.
Something's off then.
Yeah. I mean, if it sounds like that right when you get off, maybe you did something wrong. But it's also, I move around a lot personally, and so I get really tired. And so when I'm done, I'm like, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I did it because like my lungs are like doing this right now. And I'm just like, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really can't feel like my balls because I moved around on stage a lot. I did a lot of jumping. I remember one time I got really fucking drunk before one of our performances. And I punched the fucking floor like 4 times in a row. Just bah, 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 bah. And dude, by the time that we were done and the next one was on, my fucking hand was a fucking grapefruit, dude. I was a fucking idiot. Jeez. Oh well. The drummer always gets the last one.
Alright. Well, I started playing drums when I was 11.
Damn.
Didn't get my first drum set though till like 13. Took lessons for about a couple years, year or two. And then I remember in that, I think one of the first songs I ever learned on drums was Evil Ways by Santana.
Oh shit. Yo, that brings back memories. Yo, okay.
As far as, I honestly didn't get into metal till maybe sophomore, junior year of high school. And big drum influence, Brad Wilk from Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
I would just play their albums over and over and just try to play every single song by heart.
He had really tight drumming. It was
Yeah.
really sharp, and you can tell he didn't expend any energy.
Yep.
He kept it very compact.
And it's just really fun to play.
Yeah.
Like, just awesome beats.
Yeah.
Tool's another big one, Danny Carey. Guy's insane. But eventually, I actually started listening to punk first, like NoFX, Scott 2, NoFX, AFI, Operation 90, Rancid. Then
Rancid's so good.
kind of transitioned to Iron Maiden, a little bit of Metallica,
Yeah.
and I don't know if anyone remembers Primer 55.
My dad would have a fucking ball right now if he heard that.
Very few people know who they are. But and then eventually just kind of kept just building into heavier stuff. Lamb of God, Chris Adler, amazing. Meshuggah, Thomas Hawk.
Boarded's next, right?
I actually used to hate death metal, and then I didn't really start getting into death metal until maybe a few years ago. But now it's like one of my favorite things to listen to.
Honestly, man, I always tell people who are sketchy on death metal, I always say the first thing you need to listen to is Death. You need to listen to Death. Because Chuck Schuldiner is probably the best metal musician who ever walked the planet. The dude was light years ahead of everybody. I still think that to this day, that if he was still alive and Death was still doing albums, they would just be outdoing everybody.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, my opinion, they've never wrote a bad song. Their discography is fucking flawless. Like, I don't know what ideas were churning in Chuck's head when he was writing that shit, but whatever it was, we all need a fucking page from it. I tell him that, do that, listen to Sun Possessed, like the first 2 albums, and then from there, just start lightly dipping your feet into the heavy shit. Like, you know, I always tell people always say Cannibal Corpse is a great way to kind of go into that. I always recommend people Torture Killer. Torture Killer kind of does a really good, kind of the same way, but they're not as fast as Cannibal Corpse is. So you can kind of hear a little bit more of everything that's going on.
They have more melody too.
Yeah.
I would
That's
say.
also the only thing good that Chris Barnes has done since he left Cannibal Corpse. 6 Feet Under fucking blows. I love you, TJ. I love you to death. I love Putrid Room to death. But Chris Barnes is garbage. He's fucking. Chris Barnes told me I was a bad vocalist. Take it as a compliment. Absolutely. So one thing I want to ask you about, since I just got through all this, you know, you guys have expertise in other fields. You percussion, you guitar. Does those past experiences kind of help in the writing process of you guys writing songs where you're like, hey, you know, maybe this would sound better, maybe we can try it this way or try it this way. Since you kind of have that past experience, does that past experience kind of help you guys in writing material?
I guess not really for me with guitar. I haven't really. I don't think I've had too much input on, I guess, the guitar parts. just kind of let you guys do your thing, you know.
Yeah.
I think it helps me when you guys have something written and recorded and you send it to me, since I know how to play guitar and I recognize kind of what you're doing, it kind of helps me, I guess, break down the song easier for when I go to write lyrics and shit.
Okay, so do you write lyrics after you get material that's already written, or do you preemptively write lyrics and try to fit it in?
I'd say that's pretty much our style. Is generally the guitar is written first, and then we write the other parts around it, like probably bass next, and then drums, and then lyrics afterwards.
Yep. Yeah.
That's honestly a really good way to do it, because I know what we do in Skull Archer now, and we've been doing this ever since Carlos joined the band, since Jacob had to leave. We have been, what we do is we play we get really high, and then we play our set. Just everything we have.
You play the set after you're high?
Yeah.
How do you... Sometimes I don't have the dexterity.
So,
I don't think I would have the dexterity to
So
even do that.
have any of you guys ever heard of the band called Silo?
Oh, I've heard of them. I think.
The drummer in Silo, Kenny Sisk, he's our drummer as well. And that dude has been getting high probably ever since he came out of his mom's womb. Okay, that we all do a pretty damn good job. Reed, our bass player, is kind of more straight edge. He'll have like a beer every now and then, but he's kind of stopped smoking. But so besides him, we'll all just get ridiculously high. Play our set. We will play our set, and then we'll get really high again. And then I'll just be like, okay, how about y'all just have like 20 minutes of just fucking around. And we came up with a lot of different riffs that we have used from just that. The intro that we have now for our set was from that, just getting really high. And I'm like, yo, you can fucking stomp someone's teeth in that fucking intro. Hell yeah, we're gonna use it. And we used it. It's a really... I always try to give Skull Archer like a little 20 to 30 minute little jam, just whatever the fuck they want to do, and just see what comes from it. We've written a lot of really good shit that way.
I would definitely recommend it for
Everyone to do that. I mean, because you guys kind of already have an established like idea of what you want to do in the first place. So when you're all jamming together, you're gonna go to that kind of style anyway, just because it's what you're familiar with each other.
Sure.
So you may be able just to dig a diamond out from that. I don't know. Try it out sometime.
No.
Billy tips.
Hashtag Billy Tips.
Hashtag Billy tips. Hashtag don't really listen to me because I really only have vocal experience. I don't know any of these lyrics in fucking life. I am the least talented person in the scene.
So have you ever done
I wouldn't say
DMT?
that.
Huh?
Have you ever done DMT?
Here's the door. Shrooms. It's actually a great experience.
Oh yeah, I use those in my
Like omelets and stuff.
yeah, chicken Alfredo, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Exactly what I meant. I just came from an Asian buffet and just had some of that in my fried rice with some mala chicken. You know what I'm saying? There's but no, I have not. I don't even know where the fuck you get that. I actually could probably find out. We are in a scene of a bunch of people. There's probably like 2 or 3 people who know where they can get that shit from.
Sure.
I mean, but see, I kind of like that. That's like the beauty of our scene in a way, because this art piece right here, actually for the first time, it's actually probably not very visibly shown. Now it is. That is a art piece that I got from very, very, very wonderful woman named Jet Smith, who did who ran a vendor spot at the Fabrication Yard Fest that happened at 420, and she'll take these animals like dead. I think she lives like out in the country. She'll take these animals and she'll just throw them over an anthill and they'll just pick the shit clean.
Nice.
And she has a lot of these, man. She had a water buffalo skull. She had a I don't know how to fucking say it. I think it's Obelix. It's like
Obelix or something.
Yeah, IBLEX or something. It's like those African antelopes have like the fucking straight horns that go straight up. She had one of those, dude. She had a lot of deer scrolls. Dude, she had like how like girls like kind of like do their hair up in the bun and like use pins. Dude, she fucking took porcupine, like fucking spikes, and like fucking fabric them out to where they can just use them as like bun hair, like buns, like little knots for their hair, dude. It's ridiculous, dude. If y'all hit her up, y'all need to hit her up. She's really good. Her name's Jet Smith. You definitely find her work on Facebook. I believe on Instagram as well, because if you do any sort of art, you're obviously on fucking Instagram. Probably on SD too. Who knows? If you do a bunch of crazy shit like that, you're on SD. Check her out. She does really good fucking work. I paid $95 for that, but man, oh man, worth it.
Sick. Yeah.
Fucking worth it. I had another little prop. I had like a little wooden hand that like you like move the fingers and the wrist and shit.
Yeah.
Like everyone would always fuck with it, so now the hand's just kind of like this. I really can't do nothing with it now because it's just like this. Like I had it set for storage or merch table. Like you probably seen it maybe when we had it. Because I definitely remember having it at Diamond Jones because I remember backhanding someone with it. So I probably fucked up more than anybody. But I always do like little devil horns, and someone would come out and do like a little middle finger. And sometimes someone would just do like 2 people on the stink. Whatever.
Speaking of Diamond Gems.
Oh shit! Oh yeah! Come to shows.
Yes, we got a show coming up May 24th or 27th? 24th. Saturday. I think it's a Saturday. Saturday, May 24th at Diamond Gyms. Oh my god, it's our next show coming up.
The Killer's Vision. The Killer's Vision.
Oh shit!
They're playing right after us.
Oh dude, Charles is fucking fun. Have you all ever seen him?
Yeah, we played with him a couple times
At Killer's.
Killer's Tacos in jail.
I love that dude because he will do he'll do any show, anywhere,
he's all
anytime.
over the place.
He's a hustler.
Yeah.
Dude,
Is he not Canadian or something?
Yeah,
he is Canadian. He is Canadian.
He pees maple syrup.
Like just
Dude, okay, so he was actually on the podcast like earlier this year when we were done. He fucking brought out this fucking pipe, and it was fucking like wax, dude. And like the shit that you like light
wax tobacco?
No,
No.
the legal kind.
No.
Fuck you, FBI. But no, dude, like it's like that shit that you start with like that fucking torch.
Dabs.
Yeah, dude, like with like a fucking torch.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate that shit. I was retarded for like 2 hours, dude. And it doesn't sound like cops like this.
Yeah, I'm retarded all the time. So.
Oh shit.
I'm not gonna cheers.
Yeah, he's pretty intense.
It's on a Friday.
Like camping.
Okay, so we got that coming up. Diamond Gyms is like really close by here. It's like 7 minutes over that way. If you live on this side, you have to go through the railroad tracks, which there's always like 2 trains running. So just go on the fucking bridge on Jefferson and avoid all that shit. That's what I do. We played our first couple of shows.
Is this the good side of the tracks? Or the bad?
Probably, no, there's no such thing as a good side of the tracks.
No.
Yeah. I actually remember someone getting stuck on the tracks because I think they were fucked up, like drunk or something. Oh shit, my bad.
They got stuck on the tracks?
Yeah, they got stuck on the tracks. Because they were like really fun. They turned on the tracks. I'm like, you're gonna die.
What?
You're gonna die. And like, I've never called the cops in my life because like, if I call the cops, I am a cop.
Sure.
But I called the cops to make sure that guy didn't die. And I'm like, guys! This dude's fucking on the train tracks.
911, what's the
Save his life now, please. So I hope you're okay, bud. But yeah, it's not a bad place if you want to like get cheap beer.
Yep.
I take it. Elmo Jones is the promotion.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Mr. Jerry Warden, stop being drunk at your fucking door.
Ooh.
Wait, actually,
Called him out.
I think it's no, I think I booked it through Texas Metro.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So it's Ernie.
Still, Jerry, stop being drunk at your fucking door. It's annoying.
So it's Ernie Jones instead of Elmo Jones.
No. Well, see, he calls it Elmo Jones. I don't know why. But Jerry used to actually be in a band back in the day called Warlock.
Yeah,
it was like
and
an
they
old
were
school
they were
thrash band.
they were good
Jerry
in with
Jones.
they were good in with Pantera.
Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Well, when Vinny passed away, he was posting some stuff about him and Pantera being together, like
Yeah.
them being.
Also, Wayne Abney from back then who was in Hammer Witch, and now it's Life of Scars with Anthony Walker from Demon Seed. I remember they were. I remember Dwayne was kind of in cahoots with them back in the day too. Shit, dude, my dad was too. But man, I don't know. You get this weird paradigm of like that kind of fan base because the Pantera fan base is still very a large thing and still a very prominent thing, and it's mostly full of really fucking shitty people. Gonna be. Because like it's like, man, I remember back in the day, brother, I used to be fucking Panther back in the day. Goddamn, no, these goddamn millennials are not goddamn right fucking music, brother. Goddamn, tell you what, back in my day, I used to fucking smoke weed with dad back in the fucking garage, brother. Ghost garage, brother. Remember that shit? Ghost garage. Yeah, like man, like I get it. I love Pantera. Before I put up that shirt to pay tribute to my buddy Mike Vest.
Yep.
Who passed away a couple
When
weeks
is
ago.
that show, the tribute show?
The tribute show?
Yeah.
For Mike Vest?
Yeah.
The first one had already passed April 14th. That was at Whitson. There is one coming up this Sunday at Reno's Chop Shop.
That's right, okay.
That one is an all-day event. It has bands playing from like 2 to midnight. A lot of my friends are playing it. You should definitely go out. All the profits to that are going to go to his kids. Help them out in
Nice.
future endeavors. Just like the one that was at Whitson. And then there's going to be one May 18th at Tomcats West. And that's going to have a bunch of other bands as well. Everyone from Bozo to Necrosis, Electric Vengeance, Interment. So you're getting all the really hard hitters in the scene that are going to bring people out. I would be going to it, but unfortunately I booked my house party that day back in February. And I'm not going to cancel on the bands who booked it because it's really disrespectful. So I will not be able to make that one, but you should definitely make it out to those 2 shows. I probably won't even be able to make the Sunday one either, unfortunately, since my family's in town. But it's definitely for a good cause. Mike was our biggest supporter in the scene. Everyone has at least met him once or saw him once. When you were complaining about not going to a show on a weeknight because you had work the next day, that motherfucker was at a grind show in the middle of nowhere and stayed there till 2 in the morning watching bands with 15 other people in a little house. You're never going to find anyone more diehard and loving than that.
Yeah.
Definitely make those shows. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. Is there a way to donate directly to his family at all?
I don't think it's going down that way. I think there's someone in our scene that's funding that. I believe it is Steven of Knife Cult. I will give you his Facebook account, and you can definitely hit him up and see if you can donate to him, and he will be able to funnel it. Because I believe he's funneling all the money so far for what we have. I'm not 100% on that though, but he would definitely be the guy to ask.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll keep that in. I really don't care. I don't have time to edit this bullshit anyway. So guys, I have one more announcement. And if y'all haven't,
and we got one too.
go ahead.
Oh.
You go first.
So our newest single is now ready for release.
Oh shit!
It's called Broken Chains.
Give me all the details now.
All the details. Let's see. This is a song that's been written
We wrote this
many
when we were,
years
like,
ago.
maybe 18.
Yep. Like a long time in the making. And so like kind of bringing it to a full song has been a dream come true for us. I mean, just having it come out in the middle band has been
So is
awesome.
this like your first official release?
No, it's our second. So our first one was Dark Passenger. It's
Mhm.
available on all music platforms. This is gonna be our second one. We put it out today. It should be on all the streaming services soon, and we're excited about it. It's a pretty heavy one. It's got some elements of thrash, melodic metal, all
You
this
saw
sort
me
of
at Thrash.
stuff. There you go.
Thrash hard.
That's pretty good. So we think we appeal to a lot of different types of metal, and we're happy to.
You definitely do.
Yeah,
you guys,
thanks for the shout out there.
you guys-
Yeah,
Sure.
your shout out was amazing. Actually, your
Yeah,
promotion
yes.
of this podcast with our episode. We're so humble.
You guys,
So
no, I mean, the best thing I like about you guys is I really feel like you guys can play just about any show that you're booked on. Whether it's a plain hard rock show, a show that's full of really heavy hitting bands. I really feel like you guys can fit really well with a punk show if you really wanted to. Or even if you just want to go into like the old school hardcore style, like Hatebreed stuff. I really feel like you guys can encompass all of those styles. And I really do feel like that is going to be a set precedent because it's bands like you guys that kind of really kind of hold the scene together, is a band that's able to diversify themselves and be put on different shows and different bills, because not everyone can play a show with the Killer's Vision, and then at the same time play with bands like Fall Europa. You know what I mean? So you guys definitely fit that bill. I have an announcement as well. If you haven't seen, and most people probably have at this point, DFW Metal Mayhem is sponsoring its very first metal festival in August. 12 bands throughout the entire day. So this is way different from your average house party. 12 bands throughout the entire day from fucking 3 p.m. to fucking midnight. We're gonna have a keg of the best shit, the best beer. We're gonna have fucking mad barbecue, fucking burgers, hot dogs on the fucking grill for everyone to have. And I have 9 bands confirmed. I am waiting on 2, and I need 1 more band to ask. Do you guys want to play?
What's the date again?
It's in August.
August 17th.
Is that Friday or Saturday?
That is a Saturday.
Shit.
We're most likely available.
Why not?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That means yes.
All right. Well, with that, Run The Asylum is a confirmed band.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, everyone. Hell yeah.
Alright.
Everyone, please forgive the random jump cut and change of scenery. We had some issues with the picture frame. I need to fix the nail up there. I will definitely do that at the end. This has been DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. I would love to thank these guys for their time and coming up. Check out the new single when it drops. I know I definitely am, because I was definitely a fan of Dark Passenger. So definitely check them out and see these guys August 17th.
And earlier. Thank you, Billy.